Yeah, by special request.
Our special speaker, the Open and Notorious.
Are you ready for me, Bill?
I'm ready. Yeah?
All right, give Bill a big round of applause and big next Jay, and give yourself a big round of applause also. All right, so now it's time for our featured speaker. And who knows that we have a tradition here at the GNA? Who remembers what our tradition is? It's been a while since we've done it. Anyone besides Bill know that tradition?
Give him a warm welcome.
Well, I'm just going to come and say it. We sent our featured speaker all the way to the back, but since Randy Taylor's already back there, we're just,
He already knows.
he knows the drill. So, first of all, how many of you here know Randy Taylor? Raise your hand if you know Randy Taylor. I've known Randy Taylor for about 3 years now, right, Randy?
A little longer.
Little longer than that, yeah. And I will tell you, when I first met Randy, what I really liked about him was his really friendly, outgoing, and charismatic personality. He's really a great guy to know, really down to earth. He's also, in my opinion, one of the biggest centers of influence, not only out here in the Sacramento Regional Area, but also all of Northern California as well. If you're not connected with him, connect with him on Facebook. Phenomenal gentleman to get to know. And Randy here, gave me this sheet here. I'm going to read this as best as possible, Randy, because I love you, man. You're a phenomenal person. So Randy has 40 years of sales experience in 3 industries, including office products in downtown San Francisco, cancer research sales internationally, and financial services sales, where he has completed over 4,000 transactions. Wow, that's a lot of work. Louder, Randy?
A little bad here. I can't hear myself.
Oh my God! Can you folks hear me? Am I pretty loud?
I knew you're embarrassed. No, it's
Most notable speaking engagements, much better, right? National Direct Response Sales Convention, Denver, Colorado. California State Convention, Waddell & Reed Financial Advisors. National Child Abuse Prevention, VIP Reception. National Social Media Day 2011. I was actually there with you, Randy. I think that's one of the first places we really got to know each other. Comedy Tweet Up 2011. Outside interests and hobbies. Fitness, fishing, hypnosis, and in acting, Randy has appeared in 9 movies as an actor since 2011. Scheduled to act in 6 feature films this year. Wow, that's incredible. Television, acting, Discovery Channel, A&E Bio Channel in 2012, and he was on Channel 40 and Channel 13 as well. He's done a total of 6 television and radio interviews. And finally, he's been interviewed by Forbes magazine regarding home-based businesses. So today's topic that Randy's going to speak on is how to handle objections in any industry during the sales call, and also how to handle objections when scheduling appointments. So without further ado, please stand up and rise to your feet. Come on, everyone, please stand up and rise to your feet. And give a big warm GNA welcome to Randy Taylor! Thank you. Technology's all good.
So I'm Randy Taylor, just like I was a few minutes ago when he introduced me as that. I think I've been that forever, and I'm happy to be here. I might get my 8.5 minutes up to 9, or 8.5 scale up to 9, because Mike Shay's back there smiling. I've learned from the best speaker I've ever heard. I should have mentioned, but he's so good I don't want other people to know about it. But basically, first thing you do is lower the expectations. So I'll tell you, my skill is in the sales interview process specifically. People talk about marketing, they call it sales, and frankly, they don't do it. What I want to do in a matter of 20 minutes, if I can keep right on track here, with your permission, is I want to be a little bit different, and instead of telling you why you should do things, I'm going to tell you how to. We're going to talk about how to approach someone, your referee, when someone has given you a referral. I'm going to tell you how to approach them on the phone if they give you an objection, what to say, how to say, when to say it, how long to talk. I'm also going to talk to you about a simple model. It's basically a principle, not words, not a script, but a model on how you handle objections, so that if someone gives you an objection, first thing you don't do is to come right back and, oh no, you're wrong. Because then, even if you prove yourself to be right, it doesn't mean you have a happy client, because you start that vicious circle of, you're wrong, no you're not, yes I am, etc. And And so we're going to go over that. And then if we have time, I'll handle questions on any aspect of the sales process from A to Z. I also am going to throw out a couple quick bullets because I really want to give some content, because that's what I advertise. I give you content, not a commercial. You will not be asked to buy anything at the end of this, okay? But you're welcome. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, just to make this kind of fun, is I'm going to show you a couple short videos. Some of you have probably seen this before when I was at Elk Grove, but each of them, there's a reasoning behind each particular video why I picked them. We'll do that, and then we're going to go right into probably how you handle objections themselves. Okay. The other thing I want to do is, before I get a little further, I've always been taught that you should find out a little bit about your audience. How many people are married in here? Quite a few. I think that's a good thing. Everybody should have a spouse. If you didn't have a spouse, how would you ever know what your faults are?
Gee, thanks, Randy.
And by the way, I've never given a presentation without a sales fright. A little bit of stage fright. So if you'll bear with me. By the way, I came to this at the holiday extravaganza a couple years ago. I have no idea how to get a hold of these guys because I can distribute this for them, and I lost that contact information. So lesson number one: write things down and put them in your cloud on your computer. I use Gmail, by the way. Anybody that wants a half hour with me for free, I can make an expert on the Gmail contact system, and I can store about 100,000 contacts in there, sort them out by what they do for a living in geography for free. So I'll be happy to help. Okay, let's see if we can get into this. Okay, this is not the first one we're going to do. I'm going to start with the longest video to the shortest. Okay, now this one's a little different. It is self-serving. This is I'll lead into this for you. This is a trailer from a movie that I'll be in February. And I'm probably the only non-famous guy in the movie. It's full of world-famous martial artists. The guy that invented the crane pose in the Karate Kid has a fight scene in the movie, and it's basically I'm the bad guy ordering a lady that's a bona fide MTV singer local for Queen Latifah to be kidnapped, and the rest of the movie is a 5-time world kickboxing and karate champion coming to kill me, and there will be a fight at the end of the movie. So bear with me, and we're going to do this. This is kind of fun. Hopefully my external speakers are working to start this presentation.
Still refuses to see the bench. Well, if she doesn't call you back today, we'll just have to find another way to make her sign and agree to our services. I got a job, buddy. Just some kind of slurry this shit. Right, I can be happy.
Okay, that'll be coming to Elias Street Theater in San Francisco, February. Next one. This is a little different, and frankly, I'm not sure if I can duplicate this or I would do one for any of you, but I'll look into it. This is a different type of video, and I think you'll find it different enough to be interesting. If we can get started. My eyes are so bad I can't see the arrow. Can you hear that? I don't know why you can't hear it. This is just as loud as the other.
You sound better.
Let's start it over there. There we go. It's on 30 seconds. least 2 entries on LinkedIn. What that is a type of video where you type in what you want Google to search for, and they create a video where it looks like someone's looking over your shoulder searching you. And I wanted to draw attention to the LinkedIn profiles. The reason I'm bringing it up now is I brought my prop with me. Basically, I believe in a principle I learned from another speaker, and that is leave nothing to chance. So you do not do the same presentation to everyone you meet, but you should be prepared with your proof sources. When we go into objection handling, which will just be like 5 minutes from now, then one of the things I always carry with me is my recommendations. Those are my testimonials, things like that. If you're selling nutritional products, how many people here do? I'll be just waiting, Bill. Okay, you would want scientific studies. If you're a mortgage lender, you might want spreadsheets that show that you can actually shop several companies. So you want to bring your visuals, and another reason I have it like this is I never have to prepare. I ask questions and I do fact-finding with a client before I ever present a solution, and I write things down. But if I'm going to present, I have some standardized spreadsheets and things here. So, and I have 2 in case I lose one, so I don't have to reproduce it. Okay, now we're going to go to the last video. Bear with me because I think you might find some kind of fun. But you'll have to really listen because this is a very short video. Let's see if we can do this by escape. Okay, here we go. Now this is at an actual networking meeting a couple years ago.
Hey Randy, it was nice knowing you, man. Okay. Oh man!
Elias put on Facebook once, I don't know why, but I can't help but keep exploding you over and over. Okay, so keep on track, we'll skip this stuff. And the idea is, what did those 3 videos have in common? They're short. Okay? The first one was 1 minute and 10 seconds. And see how much longer it was than the last one? The last one's just as powerful. I learned something from Brian Barnes, who was doing very serious tracking of his videos he was doing for real estate people to try and track business and give them free videos. He basically noticed that at 30 seconds, people started falling off on the read-through rate, and they wouldn't get to the hook at the end, your phone number, your request for action, your website address. And he said at 45 seconds it was faster, and by 90 seconds almost nobody was watching until the end. Yet I see people do 3 and 4 minute videos all the time. You notice in the movie trailer, it's rare. They have professionals. They may do a 4-minute video, most of them about 1.5 minutes. So the first one's 1 minute and 10 seconds, the second one's 30 seconds, and the third one is 8 seconds. And I found that when I do a video myself, and they're really effective because they're different, it's eye-catching when they see the little arrow, especially if your face is on it. When I do it myself, it's really hard to get them under a minute. But what you do is you do an introduction, like your 60-second introduction, and then you lead them to the website or whatever action you want them to take, or to another video. Okay? So, tip number 2, keep videos short. Keep Facebook entries down to 82 characters or less. It's not my idea, it's Mari Smith. She's the world's leading expert. The shorter is better because they'll read them to the end, and they won't skip past the way someone else's. Okay, let's see if technology can work for us. Okay, I have only a couple of rules for this meeting. The first one is, you're welcome to interrupt me with questions, but they have to be questions that only I know the answer to. Okay? And regarding the follow-up, all I would ask you to do is, I really do try to help people. That's the way I network. There is something in it for me. If I can help you remember me and maybe give me a referral in the future, that's the only follow-up you're going to see from this. And it's going to be, the onus is going to be on you. I'm not going to call you. But if someone wants help, I'll sit down with an hour with anybody, competitors or not. Ask questions. Okay. I'll pass that. Great time for that. Okay. I am going to throw out just one thing on referrals, just the bottom line, because I've had 22 weeks of training, believe it or not, on just referrals and on working with your bigger clients versus smaller. I worked for a $90 billion insurance company that had a guy do conference calls with us an hour and a half for 22 weeks in a row, and then 10 hours with us in person. And the bottom line is, when you ask for your referral, you got to keep it short and simple, and you got to do this. If you do this word by word, it will work. I had tried for 20 years to do it the way I was taught in the insurance industry, and that was to say, who do you know that could benefit from all the products and services that I offer? the answer was, I don't know, give me your card. And it was that way over and over and over. And I didn't high pressure people, and usually I helped them, okay? But point is, but if you make it specific and you have a client profile, let's say your ideal market is 50 to 60-year-old females. You're selling skincare, and it's 50 to 60-year-old females within 10 miles of here. If I said to you, Doug, who do you know? I'm expanding my business and I need your help. Who do you know who is 50 to 60 years old, a female that might live within 10 miles of here? A name would come to mind. If I said, who do you know that lives within 10 miles of here? Maybe nothing. If I said, who do you know that's interested in skincare? Absolutely nothing. If I said, who do you know that has skin? And I only bring this out because one of the companies has trained people to say, who's your ideal client? Anybody that has skin. Well, it doesn't get the positive result. You want a name that might be a prospect. You don't want just a list. Okay? So let's get past that. Profiles, I'll just need that. You have to do that later. Okay. Now, let's assume you got a referral. I could talk for a half hour on how to get referrals, but once you have one, what do you do? Okay, the best thing to do is pick up the phone, maybe in front of the person that referred the other one to you. If not, call a person from your office and basically immediately drop the name of the person that referred you before you even mention your name or what they are. Or who you are. So it would be, let's say I got a referral from you, okay? And I'm calling Phil. Hello, Phil. Phil, our mutual friend, Matt Gouget, suggested that I talk to you for about 10 minutes. My name's Randy Taylor with such and such. I'm coming by Monday at 9. Will that work for you? And surprisingly enough, maybe as high as 70% will say yes. It's not threatening. Now, what they will do occasionally is they're going to give you one of 3 objections, and they're all actually fairly tough unless you treat them as if they were really simple. And I'll tell you exactly how you do that. I'm not sure if I've got this on the slide here. Okay, here they are. I don't have time. I'm not in the market. Or what's this about? Okay, I don't have time. It's real simple. It's Mr. Jones, I understand that you don't have time. That's why I gave you the courtesy of a call for an appointment in the first place. But Matt thought it would be a good idea for us to meet. So let's keep this first meeting to 10 minutes. I just want to drop off my card, introduce myself, and get your information so maybe that can help you. So that's a lot of words, but it's our mutual friend, so-and-so, thought it was important. I understand that you don't have time. Don't argue with me, acknowledge it. Therefore, we'll keep it brief. When you get there, they'll give you a half hour if it's 10 minutes. If you were talking about 20 minutes, it'll be an hour. It always works out that way. Okay? I'm not in the market is exactly the same. There's no harder than that. And that is, I understand that you may not be in the market. In fact, Matt didn't suggest that you had immediate need of what I do, but he did think that it'd be great for us to meet together. And therefore, I'm going to be in your area Monday at 9. Will that be good? Now, the reason you don't say, I'll be there Monday at 9 or Monday at 5, what's best for you is because through an 8-hour tape that changed my thinking entirely, I heard that the alternate choice close is absolutely the worst possible one to do because it's the one that's most likely to lead to the hardest objection over time, and that is, I want to think about it. What you want to do is just sell the appointment. You don't want to mention your product. If they do ask you what it's about, we'll do that in just a second. But basically it's, I want time with you, I want to meet you, etc. Now, if it's a referral to someone within the networking arena, it's a lot different, and you really should just set it up, hey, my purpose is networking. And then you may ask for more time. But you'll say, well, in advance, I expect you to present your product so I can learn what you do, so I can help you in the future. And in turn, I want you to have some information about me so that we can help each other and network. And then you close. I'll be in your area Monday at 9 if that works. Or I'll be at Monday at 9 if I keep it to 10 minutes so that works. Now, a lot of times, you're going to get the I don't have time. And you don't have time is come back for 10 minutes. Frankly, sometimes 10 minutes is enough. If you do it right, you might actually get them interested in this. I'll just sit down. Or you can make an appointment for them to bring their, if you're selling energy reduction, for them to bring their bills in the next month or next week. Okay? And if you do set an appointment for the following week, I'm getting off track here, but it's kind of important. If they're willing to meet you at Monday at 9 this week, that's a good time to ask for an appointment the following week. So you'll say, okay, I told you I'd be brief. Thank you for your card. Great to meet you, Joe. I got some other ideas that are really going to help you. You want to get together next week, maybe at the same time, Monday, 9 o'clock? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Yeah. What's this about is the toughest one, and you have to still not get into a sales pitch. You have to get to the point of, I understand you might be concerned about not wasting your time, so you want to know what it's about. But frankly, I have several services, so it could be a little confusing over the phone. But I promise that if we can meet Monday, I can give you an idea of everything in about 10 minutes. And frankly, it might end up that I just find out about your business and I'm able to refer you better, in the future. With that in mind, it's Monday at 9. Okay, now we still haven't gotten into how to do objections. We'll go a little farther down when you have a program. Okay, well, I am going to get back into this, but it's still on referrals. Okay. Okay. What if you ask somebody to refer a referral and no name comes up at all? And you just can feel the hesitancy. Anybody have a clue what you might say? Okay, what I would normally do at that point in time is say, you know what? I sense that, first I'd say, are you comfortable with the business you and I have done? I've always been professional under your peer pressure. No. Then you go into asking them again. Or it could be, I sense that I'm feeling that you're a little bit uncomfortable with this, and I don't blame you, because you wouldn't want to, your friend to come back, and say, hey, I have high pressure or something. But I promise I'm going to approach them in the exact same professional manner that I approached you. And here's one way to get around it. You take your book, like I mentioned before. You have a form letter. You write it ahead of time. It's real simple and short, one paragraph, and it says, I recently had the pleasure of working with Matt Bouget, and while he in no way suggested that you were in immediate need of my products or services, he did think it would be a good idea for us to meet. With that in mind, I'll be calling you for an appointment. And then you take that letter and you say, okay, this is the way I plan on approaching it. Are you okay with me sending this out in an email or a letter to this firm? And then they'll say yes. If that doesn't work, then there's one more. Okay, and I kind of like this one, because I think it's a little lower key, and that is, the guy's hesitant to give you a referral, and you say, okay, Phil, if, let's say I want to be referred to Bill Ernst, and I fed him the name, which we'll talk about in a minute. Okay, I say, if you and I were walking down the street, and we ran into Bill and went into the coffee shop, you'd introduce me to him, wouldn't you? I say, yeah, of course. I go, well, frankly, that's all I'm looking for is an introduction. I really don't need an endorsement, although I'd appreciate one. But I just want to have a chance to meet him, and I'd like to be able to use the prestige of your name. Is that okay? So you always keep coming back, is that okay? Monday, fine. Okay, I kind of have fun with the phone stuff a little bit, but we went through this as kind of repetition. On the phone, be brief, sell only an appointment, only give one-time choice. Now when you call on the phone and you don't get somebody, on a referral I may try it twice before I leave a message. But in general, you're calling for an appointment. A lot of times it's a follow-up on someone that hasn't bought from you but needs or has expressed an interest in your services. Okay? Then there's a couple things you want to know. And I know this because, by the way, not only have I done 20,000 actual sales presentations since since I was 21, but on the phone I used to work for about 6 years with a couple companies where we'd be 90 calls a day, got 20 conversations, and we tried everything. And what I did was nothing fancy. I never learned the script. I took the basics that I learned years ago in the office products industry and applied them to the phone, and that is ask questions, answer them, close, and keep it real brief. So what we do is when you call on the phone, you leave a message, be brief, we're talking 30 seconds or less. And give a deadline. This is a good tip because it makes the world of difference. I worked with a company once where we were selling life insurance on the phone. Very difficult. We never met the people. But we did advertising, so they were in the market. We had to get them to do business with us. We got a 62% conversion rate when people were called in. Actual placement of policies, unheard of. Average policy, $1 million face amount. I did 100 in 1 month. That was my best month. But after a couple of months of working with these guys, about 4 months working with a group of 6 of us, I averaged 90 each. And anyway, so to make a long story short, my best day ever, I would go in early on Saturday morning, made about 50 out dials and calls, about 50 messages, and they were always, this is important. I'd like to lock in your rates before they go up. I've sent you the package in the mail, but I suggest that you overnight it. I give you postage for regular mail, but if I were you, I'd overnight it. Here's our overnight address. I'll look for this next week. Thank you. That would be the message. I had 21 come back in one day on the following Tuesday from the This is unheard of. But before we sold urgency, we were like everyone else. And I came up here to El Dorado Hills. I worked for a company that was third in the nation in volume. We increased the sales in 6 weeks, the highest they've been in 8 years. And a lot of it was phone messages. So be brief. Now when you get someone on the phone, it's the same thing. Our goal was to actually do an entire presentation, including the fact finding, tell them who you are, asking them questions, and then telling them again how you're going to solve their problem, and then telling them to expect the package in the mail. We would do the whole thing in 12 minutes. And it actually worked better in 12 minutes than it did longer. So I know that'll work because I've done it hundreds and hundreds of times. When you leave a message and you find out that you leave a crummy message, don't be in a hurry. If you leave a message and it goes on 60 seconds, which you do and get nervous, then hit the pound key, replay it, redo it, shorten it to 20 or 30 seconds. It'll be much better. And leave the deadline always. If I'm calling during the week, my message will say, I'll be in the office till 12, I'll be in the office till 1, or call me back by 2. Okay?
So when you hit the pound key, you can redo the message?
Yeah, if anybody's got a cell phone, you hit the pound key, you'll redo it. Now another thing is, unfortunately Michael Shea's heard this before, it might bore him, but at least you'll memorize it. That is, have you ever had a situation where you get someone on the phone and you can't get them off the phone, and you've got other calls to make?
Yeah.
And they're just absolutely obnoxious?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I got one that's 45 minutes. It's not you. It's a female, you'll know.
Is it me, Randy?
No, it's a female. Unless you change sexes, it's still female.
No, but she
Okay, so I found this out by trial and error. What you do is you press the star key while you're talking, and it gives them a little nauseating, obnoxious beep, beep, and then you keep talking, and you give it about another 30 seconds, and you go beep, beep, and then you give maybe another 30 seconds to a minute, and you go beep, 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 and eventually they'll say, what in the hell is that noise? What's going on? I say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you, but it's my secretary telling me I've got that many calls in queue. Wait. So this is important. I want to talk to you. Can I call you back in 5? And it works. Believe it or not, it works.
And it used to work.
No, it works because I tried it actually at the Olson meeting.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Wait, it works. You keep talking.
You say that thing about the pound key redoes the message?
Well, pound key gives you an option of
Erase and re-record.
erase and re-record.
Yeah.
In fact,
You have to do it before you hang up.
Yeah.
yes. But my suggestion would be, frankly, okay, thank you. My suggestion would be that you always do that until you think you're really leaving killer messages, because it's a great way to practice. And that's something I forgot to mention, but I put it down there, is I wish Padilla was here because he was a baseball player, and say, you know, people like Barry Bonds knew how to hit. It was obvious. But he still had a batting coach. He still took batting practice in the morning. If you don't practice, you can't get better. Think of it this way. I called Elias once, and I think he'll be okay with me using this example. I said, Elias,
Sure, Randy.
when's the last time that you practiced your sales call? And he goes, that's a good question.
Actually, I started laughing too, Randy.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Okay. I asked somebody this week. I said, when's the last time you practiced your sales presentation? He said, never. I says, that's okay because that's the answer most people give. But do you want to practice on your clients and lose money, or your prospects that you might work for weeks on to get a good prospect, and all of a sudden you blow a sales call, you forget something, you're not prepared, you don't have your forms with you, you get nervous and you talk too much, and the guy says, I want to, yeah, that makes sense, and you just keep talking and talking until he loses all the momentum. Okay? Well, we all need an accountability partner, one of your toughest objections, and I'll show you exactly the formula to handle those. Okay? And then you should practice it. Okay? So with that in mind, let's see what we do next. Oh yeah, let's go back to this. Okay. Here's the model for objection handling. Okay, number 1, you rephrase the question and the objection in question format. So for example, it's too expensive. So it's one ball problem. Okay? I understand. It sounds like you see value in the product, but you just think it's too expensive, or it's not a good value for $100 a month or whatever it is. Yes. Okay. When you rephrase it, it shows them that you're listening, and it gives you time to think of an answer, and it slows it down so you're not nervous and you're not going, and you're going back and forth. Because once you do that, like I said, you'll lose the battle, and well, you'll win the battle and lose the war. Now, when you rephrase it, you follow it up, you answer it with product features, and then you offer proof. So there's two types of objections. Rather than go to slide and bore you, I'll just tell you. Simple objections and hard objections, nothing in between. Okay, simple objection is a misunderstanding about your product. Like you want to give somebody a case price because it's cheaper for them to help your volume. And you say, okay, it's $140 per case. And they say, oh my God, I can't afford that. Or I don't want that, it's too expensive. But you really have a trial package, or you can buy one package, or they don't have to sign up as a distributor or whatever. And that would be a simple objection. You say, I understand you're concerned about the case price, but there is a solution, and it's this. Okay. Now, the simple objections usually don't have to do it, but we've got this thing here. I love to play with this kid. Offer proof if necessary. That's where you have stuff with you. You have a price sheet, for example. You have a study. You have a computer printout or two. You have testimonials, things like that. And you pull them out if you need them, but there's no reason to pull them out and bore the guy if they say yes. You pull them out if you say, you would ask a trial close like scattered a little bit. You'd say, okay, you answer a product feature, a trial close would be, does that make sense to you? It says yes, you may want to close them right there. The best time to close is usually after an objection. Okay, and a trial close would be something simple. Does that make sense? Does that fit your budget? Etc. Okay, so you rephrase it, answer with the solution, and close. So what I want you to do is, everybody's got a pen that's serious about approving as soon as tomorrow. Just write down your most difficult objection. You should write down 3, but write one down. That's why I made the slots there. That's why I was a half hour late getting these things done. So bear with me. And write down what you do is you write down an objection, the product feature, whatever it is, that's a solution, and then approve. And I'm only going to give you a minute and a half, because you should know what your tougher objections are. 5 minutes? Okay, good.
I was able to take notes that fast. Is this available?
No, it's not available. It's copyrighted and I charge for it. I really do workshops. But what we're going to do is, I'll sit down with you on anything and go through your specific stuff, your products for free, no obligation. But what I do is just write down an objection so you know the format. You got the objections, and you get the solution, and then on the proof. Okay, now, while a couple people are still doing that, I'm going to throw out probably the best tip of the whole day. All right, is everybody listening? Including the last kid. This is the best thing I've honestly ever used in sales. It sounds so simple you won't believe it, but it's that good. And that is, if you're on the phone with someone and you are to the point where you're actually trying to sell them, maybe they're out of the area, it doesn't make sense to go see them, or you've called on them and they just won't see you for a second or third appointment, you say, before I hang up, can I ask you one more question? If you say, before I hang up, can I ask you one more question? I honestly have not had one person say no yet. Not one. Not one out of, I don't know how many sales. I've made 20,000 presentations, but on the phone maybe 2,000. Okay, so it works really well. And it doesn't mean you're going to get a sale, but it gives you a chance to throw out your bullet like, if I could save you 30% on your phone bill and the paperwork was 1 page, we could knock this out in 10 minutes. Would that make sense to you? Yes. Okay, good. I'll be by Thursday. I'll give you more information. But anyway, that's very good. Okay, objections. Anybody brave enough to mention their objection? Doesn't mean I can answer it, but give it to
I'm
me.
already happy with what I have.
Okay, I'm already happy with what I have. I understand that. Then you do this feel, felt, found thing. You ever heard that? Okay, that's nothing new. Other people felt that way, but they found that blah, blah, blah. Now, what happens there is they say that, frankly, that's your fault. And the reason being, we didn't get a chance to go into the whole deal. But the most important part of the sales process is the questions. So I did a whole meeting on questions are the answer. So what you want to do is you get all of the bullet points down, you take notes, so you know what he has, you know what he's paying, you know what the thing might be. And a good example would be guys selling nutritional products. You may think that $100 a month is more than he can afford, but he's already spending 150 because he's got 15 different bottles of stuff, and your one product might do more for him than all of that. Then you'd have to go back. I understand how you feel, but when we were talking earlier, you said that this would be a value to you. Therefore, based on that, this is still a logical decision. And I'm glad you brought it up because I was remiss and I didn't mention how to handle difficult objections. When you have a difficult objection, like your product, the better one would be, I love it. I love blue. I don't want anything but blue. You're trying to sell a car, for example. Okay? And you only have it orange and red. Then you have to go back to other relevant benefits. So what happens when you do the fact-finding during your sales call, before you present any features of your product, you know the guy likes this, the guy likes this, the guy doesn't like this, the guy likes that. So it would be, what business are you in?
I have people a little bit about they can use those services.
Okay, so then yours might be, they might say, well, I like Comcast, I like this and whatever, and you could come back with, but you told me you're doing this, this, and this, and this, and you usually do a proposal, and you might be able to come back with price savings, and you have to stress that. So you say, based on this, 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 and this still looks like a really good business decision. I know how you feel, but would it make sense if we can? It's only $30 a month saving, but that's $360 a year. That's $7,200 over 20 years. I'm sure you could find a better use for that money. That's about all you can do. And by the way, you're not going to get everything. Anybody else have an objection that they get all the time? Okay, then we're going to wrap this up and make this simple because I can talk forever and you don't want to do that for sure. In general, when you do a sales call, less is more. You do a video, keep them short. You do a phone call, try to keep, if it's a whole presentation, under 12 minutes. Don't be afraid to ask them for business. It will actually shorten the call. They'll say, I'm not in the market, or yeah, I'm interested, but I don't have time. Should you want to get better on your phone messages, you want to use the pound key and practice. Practice makes
Perfect.
right. Well, it certainly doesn't mean practice doesn't make you
Practice makes improvement.
Right. And then the other thing is, I really, it's another presentation, but frankly, you really should carry something with you that includes your LinkedIn recommendations. If you don't have them, ask for them and get them. It doesn't take long to build them. And you should have something related to your product that's fairly generic. And you should be able to just pull that out, and you've got to know where everything is. So you don't get, because otherwise you'll get nervous at the point of closing, and you don't want that. When you're nervous, they think you're lying. And one way around is to be better prepared. And then, actually, that's probably about it. I like to go back to something that weighs probably sick of hearing, but you should have it memorized by now, and that is in fact, I made us wait to say it. my favorite book in the world is The Greatest Salesman in the World. I've been reading it since I was 21, and there was a time when I literally could recite the entire book. And there was we had a team of like 6 salesmen, and we outsold everybody. We were the new guys at Xerox downtown San Francisco. But it's because we had this great attitude and we just worked our butts off because we were young and we didn't know any better. We didn't know you'd take off early on Fridays and have lunch and then go home. We just worked. Okay. Anyway, so the phrase that comes from that, it says, the first thing it says is, the career I've chosen is laden with opportunity, laden with opportunity, but littered with the bodies of those that have failed and gone before me. Were they laid one on top of the other, would cast shadows on the great pyramids of the earth. And it says, but I will not fail as have others, because in my hands I hold the tools which will get me to the whatever it is. Gardens of Hesperides. Anyway, so the tools are the stuff that you'll probably throw away, but the 3 or 4 of you that are really hungry will take and practice. And the other 3 or 4 of you may call me, and I swear there's no catch other than I would rather be the guy that helped you than the guy that just gave you my card and ignored you, because I would want all of you to refer me, just like I'll try to refer you. So practice, use the handout. I'll send you the link if you want. Have coffee on it or whatever.
Can you post it on the GNA Mastermind group page, Randy?
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, because this one's pretty simple. Okay, I'll be happy to do it. Okay, thank you very much. I'm supposed to say that. Thank you.
Questions for Randy?
Any questions for Randy?
Anybody want to be
Yes,
on,
sir.
seriously, does anybody want to be on TV on the 18th, Comcast Channel 17? Be an extra. Okay, you're in. Bill.
What day is that?
The 18th, I believe, is a Saturday. So you're going to give up Saturday evening, but it's fun. You meet some nice people. It's an interview show where they interview people, and some of them are pretty famous. Like one guy did the music for The Lion King and Spider-Man. And they bring them in, and then you ask questions of the people. The last show was a guy that was giving people ideas on how you could make money doing voice commercials and how to set up your office for $200. He inspired me. I mean, in a year or two, I'll probably quit working and just do voice commercials. Even though it's hard to get them, I'll just work it on that. Right now, by the way, yeah. Also, someone needs help on social media, I'll help you because I don't claim to be an expert, but I'm getting an awful lot out of it now. I wasn't for the first 4 years, but I am now, and I'll tell you the secret. It's as simple as it all. I connect with people by chat here in India. I have a movie and we chatted back and forth because I knew one of his friends from my own network. And finally, the guy came out here and it's all taken care of. And when I post to 900,000 people. I don't post to just my friends, 3,400. It's not enough outreach. It's a waste of time. So I work with groups, and everybody can find a group in your industry where you search for people, start searching that name on Facebook and also on LinkedIn, and connect with groups that relate to your prospects, not your own occupation. If you're a massage therapist, you don't want to be connected to massage therapists. You want to be connected to people not your prospects. You can put in Folsom, for example.
There's some way to post to multiple groups at once, so you have to do it manually.
No, you have to do it each time. But what you do is you get the URL address to your mortgage page. You take the URL address and you message that to somebody that has a lot of followers. Like I know a guy has 500,000 followers. You message that to him and you say, hey, I won't abuse the privilege, but could you put this on your wall? And all of a sudden it goes out to way more people than it could. And the other thing is, I haven't done this, frankly, but we probably should just pay for advertising and give them to Facebook because it's still cheap compared to direct mail advertising and things like that.
Oh yeah.
But I just think it sucks.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate talking to you. I know what I have to say. I'll say one final thing, Joanne, and that is I've been lucky enough to speak to a lot of groups in like 40 years. But I can honestly say, of all the groups I've ever spoken to, this one is the most recent.
The signature Randy Taylor close. Big round of applause for Randy, right, Bill? All right, so this is about the time we do the